I'm Eric Loy, and welcome to Eric Loy Interviews. On this podcast, we talk with folks from the VTuber community on their channels, their talents, their stories, where they come from, and their plans for the future. I would like to welcome Big Screen Mike. Hi, Mike.
Hey, Eric. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I got one of my guests that violates the rules by having a much better voice than I have. That was the first thing on the waiver that you signed. Yeah, that's a great instrument you got. Thank you so much for coming on. Thank you. So please introduce yourself to everybody. I know you're on stream there, but introduce yourself to my guys.
Yes, of course. My name is Big Screen Mike. I am a robot VTuber with a TV for a head. I am an all-time goober, but I also like to do a variety of things. I like to write short stories. I edit videos for other content creators. And I am currently in the works of releasing my own song cover.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, so you're going to put that instrument to use is what you're going to do. Yeah. So, I mean, have you always been a singer, or have you wanted to sing in front of people, or?
No, believe it or not, no. I have actually, for a very, very long time, I've been very, for a long time, I've been very self-conscious of my singing voice for really no good reason. I've just always been. But long story short, my grandmother was actually a singer when she was around, and so a few of my aunts followed in her footsteps, also singing, and I guess to like kind of honor her memory, since she did pass away a few years back, I've started to get into singing myself, and since then I've just been getting nothing but support for it, and
Cool.
I wanna see where I can go with that.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully you have that out soon, because we always do it's only been 2 years we've been doing this show. At the end of the year, we do a musical show where we take covers that all our guests have done and played at the end of the year. So I hope you're done by then, so we can get that in there. So with the streaming in general, when did you get started?
Oh wow, that has been a long time. I've been streaming for about 6 years now,
Hmm.
and have really only been VTubing for almost two.
Mm. So what made you change over?
So it really had to do with the fact that I just wasn't really comfortable showing my face on stream.
Hmm.
Because I feel like whenever I'm live, I just kind of drift away from like who I am, like say at work or around my family. It's like it's where I'm closest to my true self.
Yeah.
And so given that my face is public across multiple different things, of course, for my work, and given that I do video editing, and there was a time where I did professional photography work
Oh, wow.
as well. So I had my face in a few different places, and I thought, you know what, with my silliness, I don't think I want my face associated with that. So what ended up happening is I started to associate myself with uh, this model that I found off of a game called Gmod, which was this TV head character. And since then, I kind of like associated myself with that. And over time, that character has evolved into my current model.
Mm.
Um, and I've just been Big Screen Mike for a few years now.
Wow, excellent. So you just after 4 years, were you a face cam? Did you have or did you do it without the camera on you before that?
So I would do it with the camera off and on,
Mm.
but every time I did it with the camera, looking back onto the VODs or the recordings, I just found myself like making weird faces as I would be concentrating on games, and not to mention it's just overall with the silliness and the craziness and some of the unhinged things that come out of my mouth. I'm just like, yeah, no, I don't think I want my face associated with that. So over time, like I said, I went to the model, and then or to that Gmod model, up into what I have now.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, everybody's got different reasons. Yours is to protect the guilty.
Exactly.
The faces have been changed to protect the guilty.
There you are.
Well, obviously you're enjoying yourself because it's been a couple of years. Has it been everything you wanted?
Yeah. To be honest with you, when I first started streaming and VTubing, I never really had a set goal for
Hmm.
it.
Yeah.
I really just started streaming for the sole purpose of just wanting to wanting to record moments or stream moments with my friends, having laughs, having a good time, and sharing that online. And who knows, maybe some people would find some entertainment in that or bring a smile to their face if they're having a bad day. And that's really just been my driving motive
Mm.
this whole time that I've been streaming and VTubing. And the fact that it's taken me to where I am now is honestly a miracle. I never imagined to do anything like this.
Wow, that's cool. Yeah, the having coming in without any real um, mark, sometimes it's hard to keep that going because some people jump in and say, "Okay, I want to do this by this certain point," and that's what keeps them motivated to go. Was it for you just coming in and then you found that you were enjoying it, so you kept going?
Yeah, I just really enjoyed doing it. And once I started to get some chatters on stream, like being able to interact with them and joke with them online, I found a sense of comfort in that. And that helped like keep me pushing forward up until I became a VTuber. Or better yet, one of my friends had to essentially tell me or like bring into light the fact that I was a VTuber. Because believe it or not, I was actually in denial of being one before I fully cemented myself into the VTubing community.
No, I'm not. Yeah, well, I mean, you're doing this, but I'm not. Yeah, okay. Whatever you say, Mike. You're the one with the big screen. Don't argue with a big screen. That part crying out loud. So all this other stuff you mentioned doing. I mean, that's a cornucopia of things. I mean, that's a lot of talent there that you're spreading across these things. I want to talk a little bit about the short story writing. Um, how do you get that from your head to the paper? How do you force your hand to do this? I want to know,
It's
please.
real. Well, that very much has to do with my love for movies, televisions, and books in general.
Mhm.
There's just so many fascinating stories, and all of these questions that pop up in my head is like, oh, what's going to happen to this character, or what would happen if things ended up differently? And over time, I just started like kind of developing stories of my own.
Mhm.
And if we have the time for it, I would love to show.
Well,
I would love to
please,
share like how I actually got into story writing.
please do.
Yeah. So, so during like around the time when I was like slowly transitioning from like this IRL streamer to a VTuber, I was working in a call center job for a bank.
Mm.
And whenever there was downtime, I would talk with my colleagues. And there was one colleague in particular that really liked hearing these short horror stories I would read off of Reddit.
Mhm.
And so I would share those with him. And there was a point in time where I just stopped reading them for some reason. I was also in college at the
Mm.
time, and so I guess my mind just drifted to other things, and um, he wanted to hear more of the short horror stories,
Mm.
and so I just made one off the top of my head. And he absolutely loved it, and he was adamant that I just like write it out or write like a little series of short horror stories, publish them or not. It's like he wanted to read them, so I did, and I handed him a copy of the little short stories that I made, and he absolutely loved them. He kept sharing them with all of the other colleagues around the office, and that is what made me think is like, huh, maybe I could do something with this.
Wow.
Um, and so I just kept going. Never really officially published anything or posted anything online. It's just something kind of I more or less did for myself.
Mm.
And up until recently, with that in mind, this is a project that's been put on pause, but I'm also in the works of making a story and script for this animated short for my VTuber lore, like how the TV head came to be.
Cool. Yeah. I admire your creativity, and I am envious of your ability to actually put it down and have it on paper. I've got these things bouncing around my head, and I've got like almost completely fully done short stories in my head, like 10 of them, because I get bored sometimes, just write them in my head. But I can't seem to get my stupid fingers to type them out. Um, so I'm trying to get uh, as much inspiration as possible, and to do that sort of thing, because it's. I mean, you seem like be a very, very creative person all the way around. How do you adapt that to things like the editing process when you do that for the folks?
So it really that's a good question actually.
Yeah.
When it comes to video editing, now granted I have my inspirations as well.
Hmm.
I watch other content creators such as Smitty or like other VTubers, bigger ones like Zentreya,
Hmm.
Iron Mouse, Shy Lily,
Hmm.
VTubers like that, and I see how their videos are edited. And I like take inspiration from that. But when it comes to actually editing and seeing what the client wants or what the content creator wants, for example, to give you an example, Music Mystery, somebody that you actually interviewed, one of my best friends.
Hmm.
Um, Me and her have very similar vibes
Hmm.
on stream and off stream. When it comes to just being silly and having a good time, that I have already have an idea of what I want to do with her videos in particular,
Yeah.
and I just go about the process step by step. I do like maybe I zoom in here, add subtitles here, or maybe a sound effect, or maybe like a short little clip of a meme here and there, and boom. And ever since then, like she's liked my work and she continues to hire me to do more work for her,
Hmm.
and it's just been this awesome continuous cycle.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it sounds like you've got all of the parts of the cycle for yourself completed. Is there any part of this of the actual putting together videos and producing it? Is there anything that you would like to know but haven't figured out how to do yet?
Yes, and that would actually be more or less animation.
Mm.
Because now, granted, with there are some subtle like animating that I do with subtitles or with images and stuff like that.
Hmm.
But I would very much like to be able to maybe not fully animate, but more or less, like find a way to bring like VTubers to life. Now, granted, they have their models here and there,
Right.
but I think it'd be too much work to ask them to like, oh, record them doing a certain movement so I can add it to the video.
Mhm.
I would much rather like take a PNG of them, maybe draw over it, and have them do like some kind of expression.
Mm.
Whenever I'm like zoomed in on something and they're out of the picture.
Mm. Okay. So you're it's kind of an adaptation of their model then.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you're using that in the yeah. All of this stuff is I'm envious of everything. So just being able to have that sort of creativity and vision to do that sort of thing. Have you always found yourself to have that sort of um, I guess the lack of a better term, vision is the best way to put it. That you have a creative vision to do these sorts of things.
I guess in a way, yeah, I do have that kind of creative vision. And it just like you, it just pops up in my head randomly. It's like, oh, I would love this.
Hmm.
I would love this to happen. Or like like I mentioned with the animating, I would love them to have like do some kind of expression like when they're excited or
Hmm.
they're upset about something, and I want to bring that to life that maybe like their VTuber models might not be able to represent,
Hmm.
because with VTuber models as technologically advanced as they can be for smaller VTubers like me and Musi, sometimes that expressiveness, that advanced rigging is too expensive to afford. So
Right.
a lot of our models tend to be fairly stiff or not very or don't show a lot of expression.
Right.
So I feel like being able to do that or learning how to do that uh can kind of make up for that.
Mm. Yeah. And certainly it would. And I'm going to use the term that everybody hates, marketing. Um, it would certainly help as far as that goes, because if you're able to adapt and create more with that model, then it can be used to market the channels to come back to it. It's it adds that extra level of um, attraction to the channel.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. You look at bigger VTubers, Iron Mouse, Shy Lily. Their marketing is off the walls.
Mm.
They have images, they have artwork left and right, and it's perfect for them. But for smaller content creators like us, it's expensive, so we have to make do with what we got.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and it sounds like to me that you've had this for a while. I mean, have you always been someone who wanted to be an entertainer?
Believe it or not, not always.
Really?
Not always. Before VTubing, I I've always been fascinated by creative and visual arts.
Hmm.
So like I was always fascinated by like the behind the scenes stuff going on in movies, television, photography. Again, being a very big passion of mine. I love capturing things in the moment, and like adding on to that.
Hmm. Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Oh no, I say that photography is an entire artistry to itself. If you're really into it, you can really catch everything where you don't even need words to describe what is. They say a picture's worth 1,000 words. Sometimes you don't need those 1,000 words. You just need the picture at the right moment at the right time. And do you find that? Are you a digital photographer, or did you use the old film?
I'm a digital photographer, but I have used film before.
Hmm.
My father, whenever when I was little and we would go traveling a lot, because I'm out in the Midwest, along the Rockies.
Hmm.
So we would go traveling a lot. We would go to different places in Colorado, Wyoming, stuff like that, and he would always bring his camera with him.
Hmm.
And he still has it, and I've used it a couple of times. But I'm mostly a digital photographer, of course.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The folks who use the old brownies and that sort of thing, they I knew a couple of folks who had their own dark rooms, and, and they would disappear in there for hours putting stuff together. I'm like, yeah, I don't have that type of patience. But um, so, what type of tools do you use now in the digital age? To do you add anything to it once you've got the picture done, or is it all done within the camera itself?
That's a really good question because there's not really a clear answer to that.
Mm.
Because some pictures, because granted, there's a whole science to how to work the camera, to how to work a camera in and of itself, and sometimes that's really all it is that you need. But from my experience, to really emphasize what is being captured in that moment. To give an example, I actually shot a wedding for one of my from one of my old classmates in high school.
Hmm.
Um, and the pictures, they came out perfect as they were, but I really wanted to emphasize that moment, so I would use tools like Photoshop and Lightroom, not to drastically change the image, but to really bring the subjects to life. Like for example, like the bride and the groom dancing,
Hmm.
uh after the ceremony, of course.
Hmm.
um I make them just a little bit brighter, make them stand out a little more than they already do in the image,
Yeah.
just to kind of emphasize the I guess the importance of that moment.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's there's a lot of skill involved, and it takes a lot of your other skills too, creativity, vision, um, that sort of thing, in order to take what you've already got and enhance it to where it says what you want it to say.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's still you still have to have the eye for the picture though. And did you develop that at an early age, or was it something that you had to, take 2,000 pictures of your feet before you got something right?
Yeah, no, I picked it up fairly early, I would say around 13, 14. I when So sharing a little bit more about myself, I used to be in the Boy Scouts, so
Hmm.
I would go camping a lot.
Yeah.
And I'd go to different scout ranches and stuff like that, take all sorts of pictures of the landscape and the wildlife, and I found myself more and more attracted to capturing those moments. And it wasn't until I took one particular photo. It was the morning after a heavy rainstorm, and I was just waiting for one of my instructors. It was a merit badge of some sort. I don't remember exactly what,
Mhm.
but I took a picture of this, like a few water droplets that were left on a wooden bench. And one of them just seemed to be a lot larger than the other for some reason. So I took a close-up photo of that, and that's what really cemented my love for photography. Because after looking at it and doing a few edits here and there to just kind of make that single raindrop pop to life, um, I showed it around to other people, and almost every single one of them have said that I've like captured the last raindrop of the storm,
Wow.
the very last thing to fall from the sky.
Yeah, cool.
And I'm just like, wow, that is a very interesting and beautiful interpretation. I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep doing this. I'm gonna keep taking photos.
There's just that little bit of validation there. Just yes, let's that's what I'm looking for. Just that little bit of wind beneath your wings. Have you found the VTubing sphere and the content creating online to have that same sort of wind beneath your wings feeling, or has it been a struggle for you occasionally?
Now, granted, there has definitely been a struggle. I have found that win for sure, but there definitely has been a struggle within the VTubing sphere because as I'm sure it might not be of no news to you, there tends to be a lot of drama and a lot of mishaps that happen within the VTubing community.
Mm-hmm.
I know the biggest one recently was that whole thing with Iron Mouse and VShojo and many of VShojo members.
Hmm.
And I've experienced my fair share of drama and just other VTubers that I haven't really gotten along with, to say the least.
Yeah.
And I have found some struggles in that for sure. But as I kept going and as I kept collaborating, expanding my wings, I've slowly like weeded out those that I don't necessarily want to be around, as they don't share like kind of the same kind of energy or positivity that I want to spread.
Right.
Um, and over time, I've come across several VTubers that I now consider my best friends. Some of them are in my chat, like Joy Crow, Musa Mystery, Lola Royale, and a bunch of others that I can list. But I don't want to talk your ears off
And
about that.
wow, talk. That's what we're
But
here for. Talk my ears completely off. That's why we're here.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's several VTubers like those that have really made it a truly wonderful experience. It's like there's bad apples here and there, of course. There's always going to be, but I don't let that discourage me because I've found who I want to be around, and who I want to have, like not only in my content, but just share like the funny and crazy moments that happen on stream.
Yeah, yeah, and it sounds like now that you've got your jaw set and you got your confidence up to where you can handle, you know, somebody somebody throwing dirt in your Cheerios type of thing. Um, it makes a big difference to have that confidence in
Mhm.
yourself and the realization that people are coming in, they're going to try and mess things up, and you just kind of steamroller them by ignoring them.
Yeah, yeah, no, like the best way to the best way to avoid troublemakers, those that don't like share the positivity that you're trying to spread, all what they truly crave is
Hmm.
a reaction from you. What they crave is you falling apart, letting them see the bad side of you. No, no, don't give them that attention.
Yeah.
And the moment I stopped with that, that's when I really found myself flourishing for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's easy to say, not easy to do, like most things. Um, but if you can come up with, it's almost like a Zen feeling, I guess, is where you're in harmony with yourself. That's going to sound really new agey, but if you're happy with where you're at and you're confident enough in what you're doing and you're enjoying what you're doing, you're not going to let some random person come in and mess that up. You'll just be able to handle it.
Yeah, no, no, and this new side of me has been very recent,
Mm.
because like like a few other content creators, I'm sure, I've struggled with mental health a lot. There's always I've had hardships left and right throughout my life, and it's hard not to think about the things that I have had to go through to get to this point where I'm at. But I know that dwelling on the past is going to do nothing for me.
Mm.
So what I could do is just pick myself up, continue moving forward, and try to look on the bright side of things, and just enjoy the little bit that I have, the little bit that's actually doing good for me, and that's what's been keeping me on my feet this whole time.
With everything that you've been able to do and everything that you are able to do, have you thought about putting together, say, a visual novel type thing or a game yourself with everything that you're talented in?
Um, I can't say that it hasn't crossed my mind. For sure, I would love to be able to do things like that.
Mm,
As far as like the visual novel goes, that's kind of like the idea that I have in mind for my VTuber lore.
right.
Now, granted, like I said, that's been put on pause just because I've had people like walk in and out of the project that I was working with. So it's in revision right now, but hopefully I hope to get started on that again sometime soon.
That's cool. I mean, something like um, I would think that you'd have the insight and the talent for to put together some sort of a one of those games that's a lot of text and back like a I wouldn't say exactly like a Danganronpa or anything like that, but something along those lines. Have you thought about a game creation type of deal?
Game creation. I mean, I would love to write a story for a game one day,
Yeah.
but I'm afraid I'm not like really talented in terms of like programming or animating or anything like that. I'm afraid I can't really contribute in that
Mm.
on that end. But I mean,
Virtually everything
it
else
wouldn't
you
hurt to
can.
try.
You can
Yeah,
even
like everything else, it's like I will give it my best. I know what I'm good at. I know what I'm not. I can contribute in this fashion.
mm,
But I'm gonna need a programmer. I'm gonna need some model makers and stuff like
yeah, I mean,
that.
heck, with that voice, you voice the character too. Get to do the whole thing at that point. Have you thought about voice?
Funny.
Have you done any voice acting?
I have actually in a way, yes.
Mm,
I voice the characters that are present within my animated lore. Now, granted, I voice myself,
mm-hmm.
but I also voice this character that later becomes me, the robot with a TV for a head.
Mm,
Um, so that's really like my only experience in voice acting, nothing official. I have thought about voice acting, and it's something that I actually am really wanting to do one day. Uh, I just haven't really found the courage to do that. I don't really know what my range is in my voice when it comes to voice acting, so I don't really know what kind of characters I could play yet.
yeah. Well, consider this a nudge forward. Um, give it a shot if you have to. I mean, I've talked to folks who have done blind auditions and gotten really plum roles. And just from their own home. And now that you've got the ability to record at home, you don't even have to be in the big hubs to do this sort of thing. So, heck, if I was in radio still, I'd hire you just for the chance for you to not make any money at it. Um, and then you'd hate me for the rest of your life. So yeah, that would be something else. But really, it's a great instrument you have there. Have you always been someone who could project like that, or is that something that you learned later in life?
That's something that I definitely learned later in life. In high school, I was in a dual enrollment program
Mm,
actually. So doing like your traditional like county district courses, but I was also doing college courses over time. So
mm,
starting freshman year, it was mostly school district courses, but as the years progressed, I would take more and more college courses up until I was essentially a full blown college student.
right.
And one of the required courses that I had to take was public speaking.
Oh,
So with that, I more or less learned how to project with my voice. And since then, I've surprisingly gotten the opportunities to do speeches and like mock interviews
mm,
with fellow peers, classmates, and within the Boy Scouts as well.
mm,
And I guess that's just something that I've slowly learned how to do over time.
yeah, yeah. It once you get that though, you kind of stays with you. And
It kind of does. I can't
yeah,
seem to find how to, like it doesn't turn off for me very easily.
yeah, yeah. Well, that's a good thing for the most part. I mean, it's not overwhelming. It's just you could talk to somebody across the room and they'll hear you. Believe me, there's a lot of people in my paying job that I cannot understand what they're saying, and I'm right next to them. Like, please speak up and try to enunciate something, please. Um, but having that ability certainly does a lot of good for you, and it kind of brings you out of your shell too, automatically, because you're already open up enough to put that oomph behind what you're saying.
Yeah, yeah. It's like I said, definitely an acquired skill.
Mhm.
But yeah, no, it's just I guess like for me, it just feels like now while I'm projecting my voice, I'm like, hey, this is me. Like I am here,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, yeah.
And it's just kind of stuck with me.
Yeah, I don't mean like those old radio guys who used to press their voice. You know, there's still a few of them out there. Hey, I'm Mr. Radio Guy. That type of thing. You know, don't do that. It sounds terrible and it hurts your ears. Um, so if I tune into one of your streams, what am I going to see?
Oh boy. That's
Mhm.
one of the things that I feel like can be like a 50-50 for some people cuz like I mentioned earlier, I'm very I can be very unhinged. But I can also be like very very calm or a bit quiet. Um Now, not necessarily when it comes to my voice, but sometimes I'm just so enthralled and focused in what I'm doing that I just end up going quiet. So I just hope that so if you were to tune into one of my streams, I just hope I don't scare you away with some of the unhinged things that can come out of my mouth from time to time.
I've done that a couple times. I've snuck into to guest streams and they're like, no, don't watch this one. Too late. I'm already here. So what are you usually playing when you're on stream?
So I'm a variety streamer. So I play lots of different things.
Hmm.
Recently I've come back into speedrunning, which is essentially just playing a portion of a game or playing the entirety of a game from point A to point B as fast as you can.
Right.
And just recently I just finished up a little speedrunning competition among with a small group of VTubers.
Hmm.
And we were speedrunning the classic Doom that came out in 1993.
Oh my gosh.
We were just doing like the first chapter, and it was competitive. It was fun. I may have slammed my desk a couple of times because I messed up somewhere, but we don't talk about that.
Yes.
Overall, it was a very good time.
Yes. Oh well, boy, do I remember that when it came out, and people were people were still trying to figure out. I could for the life of me, I couldn't play it now. If I wanted to, I don't have the twitch to do that anymore. But it was so huge back then, and still is big now. So how fast were you able to get that first level done?
So within the competition, the parameters were that we were only to do the first episode of the game, which
Uh huh.
had 7 different levels.
Hmm.
And my best time was 6 minutes and 8 seconds.
Dang.
And I made it into the third place in the competition. First place being my friend Dedo, another wonderful VTuber friend of mine, who got a time of I think like 5 minutes and 17 seconds.
Oh wow. Did they find a warp?
Yeah, no, there's lots of other conditions when it came to the competition. We were not allowed to use glitches of any ways.
Ah.
We could not find a way to like clip out of bounds or anything like that. We just had to get from point A to point B as fast as we possibly could,
Mm,
while following the borders of the game.
yeah. So was it a question? uh, Did it every time you start up? Is it a little bit different each time you start the game, or is it are all the creatures in the same spots?
So the creatures they all spawn in the same spot, but they wander aimlessly. They don't necessarily have any fixed route or anything like that. So that's where the challenge comes in because a lot of the times when you're just zooming past room to room, one like an enemy or an NPC is like they could just run. They could sometimes just walk into you,
Mm,
and it completely messes up your momentum. And that's where a lot of the rage for me kind of set in, because I would just be very unlucky with NPCs just wandering, and I would just be running into them left and right. But overall, I'm glad with the time that I was able to get.
That's cool. That's cool. Now, as far as your streaming schedule, have you been able to keep up a weekly schedule, or is it tough for you?
That's honestly been a constant struggle of mine. There have been a few good moments where I was able to keep a consistent streaming schedule. I try to post what my schedule is going to be looking like every week. Now, granted, that'll be changing up again soon now that I am going back to school. Um, but I do my best to be consistent. I at least try to stream 3 times a week
Mm,
minimum.
yeah. And do you put that schedule up, or do you make them guess?
I put the schedule. I put the schedule up. Like I let them know like what time I'm going to be streaming, what game I'm going to be streaming, or what I'm going to be doing, uh, and I follow that as best as I can. Now, granted, things come up here and there. We'll have to cancel a stream or reschedule.
Yeah.
But by all times, I want to try to at least let everyone know what I'm doing.
Excellent. Now, as far as having folks come back to you, and you were streaming a little while before you jumped into the VTuber thing. When you realized that people were coming back for your personality, how did that affect you?
That was that was definitely a game changer for me, because keep in mind, I do this for fun.
Hmm.
I do this to put a smile on someone's face if they're having a bad day. I just want people to enjoy themselves. That's my main drive for streaming.
Right.
And when people started to come back, and there's a few even long-term viewers that have seen me while I was still streaming with my face on camera, seeing some of them come back, it means a lot to me, because it shows that, they're not entirely here for like what I'm doing. They're here for me,
Hmm.
which is something that has been very foreign to me for a long time before I started streaming. Um, and it was just very fascinating to see, because I don't exactly know where I got this in my head. Maybe some kind of life experience. I can't exactly remember now, but I never thought of myself as a very entertaining person. I never thought myself as somebody that someone would want to be around or interact with. Granted, yes, I have friends, but on a public perspective, I just never really had that feeling about myself.
Wow. No, but see, with this, have you kind of developed that feeling that confidence? I mean, you already had confidence in doing some other things, but have you gotten that confidence up in yourself to where you really want to do more and more and get yourself out there more?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. I've gained, well, I've gained the confidence to act on it, but of course, doubt always sets in.
Hmm.
My struggle is actually just putting my foot through the door and going out and doing it.
Yeah.
It's always been a constant struggle of mine, but every now and then, it's like I know, because I have like these long term goals. I want to be able to like interact with people at conventions, meet other content creators,
Hmm.
do all sorts of things. But it starts little by little. I have to build up my community. I have to do a lot of networking, which has always been a bit of a struggle of mine.
Yeah.
Again, with the doubts, lack of confidence on that side.
All those things.
But yeah, no, I'm slowly like trying to step out of my comfort zone and get in there. As scary as it might be, it's really just all in my head. It never turns out as bad as I imagine it to be.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you had to have gotten some confidence if you're going to do the cover, song cover. That's really to me that's putting yourself out there, and although it's going to be produced and it's going to be put together, and the button spinners are going to or dial spinners are going to spin, but still that's you out there. When you get that done and you hear it coming back to you, how are you going to take that?
Um, honestly, like, uh, honestly, I'm a little bit nervous on the feedback that I'll get. But I know for sure that I'll get all the love and support from the friends that I have, and that's honestly enough for me. Um, as to what the end results are going to be, I really don't know. But ultimately, I'm just going to be proud of the cover that I put out there,
Mm.
because I know that that's something that I did. Um, that's something that I've put off, and it's finally going to be out there. And that's really, like, in and of itself, I feel like that's a big accomplishment for me.
Oh, it is. It's a big accomplishment for anybody. To me, again, showing having the ability to do things artistically one way or another is one thing, but showing it to other people is a different story. And singing in the shower and managing to hit one note every 10 years, like I can't, um, and then singing for somebody else and and having the confidence to release it, that's quite a mountain to climb.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, it's and people don't really realize it. Other people who have more confidence in themselves, but my gosh, that's a you're really sticking your neck out sometimes with something like that, and there's always that fear that they'll get chopped.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And like I mentioned before, like, even if even once this cover releases, granted I can't release a time yet because it's still very early in development.
Mm,
Um, it's I'm just my main goal is just putting it out there.
mm,
However it's received, it could however it's received, good or bad, I don't want to think about that. I don't
mm.
want that doubt, that worry to set in. Um, so I just focus, I just see it as something that I just want to get out there. I just want to be able to say that, hey, I did this,
Mm. There you go.
and it's going to be out there.
Absolutely, and it's going to be perfectly good. It's I have no doubt about this. Hearing you talk about it, and wow, your voice doesn't betray anything as far as being having any trepidation towards it, because you have a very confident sounding voice, and it I hope that shows how confident you actually are in it. Um, and I don't think there's I think as far as that goes, and as far as your abilities and as far as your outlook towards this sort of thing, it only points upward from here. Is your outlook as rosy as I'm painting it out to be?
Actually, not entirely, no.
Mm,
And it means a lot to me to hear you to hear you say that. Because on a regular basis, it's like I tend to worry and doubt myself a lot.
mm,
And sometimes I dwell on it longer than I should, and
mm,
that just slows me down. It discourages me somewhat.
mm,
But hearing you say that and hearing it from others that are like not mutuals or something like that,
mm,
it it like helps ground me to the fact it's like, huh, maybe there's a lot more to me than I'm really uh uh like there's more to what I can do. There's more to what I am than what I've been led on to be, or led on to believe,
mm,
from the past. Because not wanting to dwell on the past here, but I've come from a lot of negativity. I wasn't the perfect person or anything like that.
mm,
I made lots of mistakes that I regret. But ultimately, it's like through it all, with everything that I've had to go through, the mistakes that I've made, it's like I know who I wanted to be back then, and I just strive to be the person that I know that I can be. It's just a matter of getting myself out there and pushing through that doubt.
Well, I tell you, folks, you got to check out to see what Big Screen Mike's got going on. We're going to have all the links in the description for this video. I am the better for having talked to you, Mike, and I really do appreciate it that you came on. I wish you all the best. You don't need my wishes. It's going to happen. Um, and folks, you got to check out see what's going on. I thank you so much for coming on, and I wish you every bit of the best in the future.
Of course, and thank you, Eric, again for having me. It's been an absolute honor, and I can't wait to see who you'll interview next. I definitely know a handful of mutuals that I am sure would be honored to interview with you as well. And I hope they come on the show sometime soon. As far as my end goes, is it okay if I can promote you a little bit here? I know it's your interview, but
Please do. Please
I would
do.
like to, yes, yes. So everyone here who's watching on stream, please go check out Eric. He's been a lovely individual, and this has been, and believe it or not, Eric, this is actually my first ever interview that I've been a part of. So thank
Really?
you for giving me that honor.
Oh, absolutely.
And of course, everyone, go please check him out. This has been a spectacular interview. A tremendously wonderful first impression, and honestly, Eric, I would love to be a part of another interview, maybe sometime in the future, if you'll have me.
Well, certainly. We'll do that soon. We'll do that soon. Thank you for listening to Eric Loy Interviews. Join us again next time when we talk to another member of the always interesting VTuber community.